Good day everyone, welcome to my vlog. So for today's video, we will tackle about the hyperbola. Let figure 1 and figure 2 be two distinct points. The set of all points P whose distances from F1 and F2 differ by a certain constant is called a hyperbola. The points F1 and F2 are called the foci of the hyperbola. In the figure, given are 2 points in the x-axis, foci 1, C0, and foci 2, Z0. The foci both C units away from their midpoint, 0, 0. This midpoint is the center of the figure. Hyperbola. Let Pxy be a point on the hyperbola and let the absolute value of the difference of the distances of P from foci 1 and foci 2 be 2a. Thus, quantity of P foci 1 minus P foci 2 is equal to 2a. Thus, quantity of P Fy F1 minus P foci 2 is equal to 2a. So, square root of the quantity of x plus c squared plus y squared minus square root of quantity of x minus c squared plus y squared is equals to 2a. So, algebraic manipulation allows us to rewrite this into the much simpler, which is x squared all over a squared minus y squared all over b squared is equals to 1, where b is equal to square root of c squared minus a squared. The center or the origin is 0, 0, foci 1, negative c0, and foci 2, c positive 0, which focus is a c units away from the center. For any point on the hyperbola, the absolute value of the difference of its distances from the foci is 2a. Vertices 1, negative a, 0, and vertices 2, a positive 0. The vertices are points on the hyperbola collinear with the center and foci. If y is equals to 0, then x is equals to negative and positive a. Each vertex is a unit away from the center. The segment vertices 1 and 2 is called the transverse axis. Its length is 2a. Asymptotes. Y is equals to bx all over a and y is equals to bx all over a. The lines line 1 and line 2. The asymptotes of the hyperbola are two lines passing through the center, which serves as a guide in graphing the hyperbola. An aid in determining the equations of the asymptotes. In the standard equation, replace 1 by 0 and the resulting equation x2 all over a2 minus y squared y2 all over b2 is equals to 0. Solve for y. To help us sketch the asymptotes, we point out that the asymptotes line 1 and line 2 are the extended diagonals of the auxiliary rectangle. This rectangle has sides 2a and 2b with its diagonal intersecting at the center C. Two sides are congruent and parallel to the transverse axis vertices 1 and 2. The other two sides are congruent and parallel to the conjugate axis. The segment shown, which is perpendicular to the transverse axis at the center and has length 2b. Try this. Example number 1. Determine the foci, vertices, and asymptote of the hyperbola with equation x squared all over 9 minus y squared all over 7 is equal to 1. Sketch the graph and include these points and lines, the transverse and conjugate axis, and the auxiliary rectangle. Example number 2. Find the standard equation of the hyperbola whose foci are fy 50 and foci f0 such that for any point on it, the absolute value of the difference of its distances from the foci is 6.